Do you have something that you keep just in case? Like that crappy old pair of socks that I actually despise. I know I have lots of items like this. You know, I actually grabbed one to show you. This sock I really hate. Sorry, Ange, she gave them to me. Ooh, I didn't re-gift them. But this is the sock I hate. I hate it because of this material, it's all stringy inside, and I just hate how it feels on my foot, and I actually find the pattern to be hideous. But I continue to keep them at the bottom of my sock drawer. I started to ask myself, why am I doing this when every time I, run out of laundry and I need a pair of socks, this is the pair that's the last pair to get used because I actually don't like them. But I refuse to throw them out because in my mind, I think that maybe I might need them. I better keep them at the bottom of that sock drawer just in case. I started thinking to myself about this behavior. So I looked up compulsive hoarding and I discovered that it affects 2 to 5% of the population. Now, I wouldn't describe myself necessarily as a compulsive hoarder, but I started thinking about those behaviors and questioning if there's some validity in what I'm doing and why maybe I'm doing this, and perhaps you can relate. So according to our Wikipedia friends, hoarders may be conscious of their irrational behavior, but the emotional attachment to the hoarded object far exceeds the motive to discard it. Let me make that statement again, and as I do, ponder this for a moment. The emotional attachment to the object far exceeds the motive to discard it. My lousy sock is just an example of what I'm talking about, and what I'm trying to relate to you is that I'm acting from a spot of fear. I'm in fear of the unknown. I don't know what's coming around the next corner. I don't know when I'm going to be out of laundry. I don't know when I'm going to be so stressed I don't do laundry for 3 weeks, so I better have some socks just in case, because who wants to wear nasty, sweaty socks? Not me. I'd rather wear the stringy, really ugly pair than reuse a pair. That'd be sick. But I don't know what's coming, so I better be prepared. This is totally a fear-based mentality. Now, I asked myself this question and I came to that, and it then led me to question a few other things about hoarding, or my mentality with hoarding, or perhaps your mentality with holding on to things, where you've created an emotional attachment and you want that so much, or you like that, or you need that, that you have anxiety about letting that go. Now, I started thinking about relationships, for example. What relationships in my life and what relationships in your life are you holding on to that maybe aren't serving you and aren't doing anything for you at all, but your emotional attachment to those relationships, perhaps it's friends or family members, is so deep and you feel like you need it in some weird way that you hold on to that, and it gives you anxiety about thinking of letting it go because you don't know when you might need that relationship in the future or whatever. So that change is very difficult. Another question I ask you is, are you hoarding your job? Are you one of those people that continue to go to work for the money, but in actuality, you're very miserable at work? I'd suggest that perhaps you're hoarding your job and your work. Your emotional attachment and connection to perhaps the money or whatever that is stronger than your motive to be able to let that go. If we take this to a deeper level, I start to ask myself, what other things are we hoarding in our lives that we just can't let go of? Just like that sock, because we're in fear. And I thought, what about on an emotional level? What about on a mind level? What about on a spiritual level? At this deeper level, what's going on here? Are perhaps past experiences weighing you down and you're not letting go of things that you need to do to let you move forward, creating that emotional attachment, perhaps to even negative experiences which you refuse to let go of because you keep on reliving them over and over in your mind and keeping them close to you without releasing them and letting them go. The fact of the matter is that when you decide to relive painful experiences, the only person suffering unfortunately, is you. The person that you have resentment towards or anger towards as you're reliving these things in your mind over and over and over again, do you think they care? No, they're out frolicking about enjoying their life, and you are the only one who suffers. So what is that? Why is that? Why do we do these things? You know, I guess my suggestion to me and you is, why are you hoarding physical objects? We don't need to. We can let things go. Things come into our life when we need them and as we manifest them. And there's so much in the universe to provide for you and for me, and it's endless. So if you can tap into that source knowledge and that source power, you can get anything that you need at any time you want it. So you don't have to worry about holding on to these things. The same is true for relationships and jobs and all these things. So I guess my suggestion is, stop holding on to these things. Stop holding on to those destructive memories and experiences, and free yourself from the things that are weighing you down. Ask yourself, what are you keeping around that you truthfully can say is not serving you? What is keeping you from becoming your highest, most positive self? I suggest to you that it's time to choose to free yourself, to free oneself, and burn that decrepit, repulsive sock. Feel good, be good, love ya.